Hey guys, I've posted this online in a couple of different places, and I thought I'd just share it here on my YouTube channel to see if there's any interest in it. It's an older 20K Hyster. I bought it right at about 2 years ago, and it's worked perfectly. And the only reason I'm changing is it only has 6-foot forks, which, you know, probably for most things is fine. But a lot of the stuff we load, the brakes and all, have to get sat on the center of a trailer, and those 6-foot forks will only sort of get it, you know, a third of the way in. And so we're always pushing it in or dragging it to the edge. I'll show you some videos of it running and all that here in a little bit. Let me go ahead and just fire it up for you real quick, just to show you, like, this thing has never not cranked. When we need to use it, you know, 2-3 times a month, maybe 4 or 5 times a month, it just works. Let me step up here and show you just how quickly this thing will start. When it's cold, it has just a little bit of a surging idle, but usually once it's kind of warmed up a little bit, that calms down. It is an LPG conversion, and it has a little bit of an exhaust leak on, I believe it's on this side. I mean, exhaust tip is right there, so part of it's that. But I think it has a little exhaust leak on it. I think it's a retrofitted, fairly modern GM V6. This is a Hyster from the 60s, so it's an older machine. But if you look at the valve covers and all on it, you know, more of a modern machine. All right, let me shut it off where we can hear, and I'll give you some measurables on it, because, you know, I know a lot of people may be trying to fit this into a tight space. This is a, you know, kind of a short space saver type of forklift, and the cool thing is the canopy is part of the mechanical system for the tilt function. So you see the big levered arms right there come to the tilt cylinders right here. Pretty cool. The controls, you've got forward low and high, and reverse low and high. And then you have tilt and the main lift cylinder. So let me go ahead and raise it on up so we can measure the height. Oh, that was tilt, sorry. There she goes. It's a little bit on the slow side, raising the lift cylinder, but fully raised, the forks are about 11.5 feet of height from the forks, and then I'll get you the mast as well. So with it in the down position, it's about 11.5 feet or so to the top of the mast frame. I don't have it all the way down, but the channel, you know, the top of the mast frame right there. All right, so the overall track width, just under 8 feet, probably, you know, 90 inches, 92 inches, somewhere if you had to really stretch it. So again, 11 feet to the top. So that would fit in a, you know, through a 12-foot opening, 12-foot door. So let me get you the length. All right, from the tip of the forks to back here to the counterweights, it's right at about 19 feet. So 20K, 20,000 pound rated. We lift regularly 14 with it. We have lifted a max of like 16 or 17. Let me talk about a couple things that it needs. It does have a slight leak in the tilt cylinder. It doesn't leak when it's running. You can see there's nothing underneath it down there now. But when it sits overnight, you know, even if it's been sitting for a week or two, there'll be a small little puddle down there. And it also has one of the steer cylinders, I believe it's on this side. If you turn it really, really sharp while using it, in fact, you can see it is leaking a little bit down there. I don't know if that's showing up on camera or not, but there you go. So the steer cylinder does leak a little bit. The tilt cylinder, not too bad, just a tiny bit. Probably needs a battery. I've not put a battery on it. It comes with a battery tender. This was on it when I bought it. So they got the cord routed right there for it. And it's got one of the pins right here for the forks. You can see it's got a little bit of a bend on it, and that lets the fork on this side hang down, sag down just a little bit lower. So it probably needs new pins, I would say, on both sides. And you can see right here, this one's been repaired before. Welded, that was how that was when I got it. None of that has ever been a problem. I think if you need something heavy lifted a couple times a week, or, you know, a little more or a little less, it'd be perfectly fine. If it was going to be a production, drive it every day, all day, you'd probably start to run into, you know, mechanical issues. But man, the cool thing about this forklift is it's old school. There ain't one thing on here that's hard to repair or replace. Everything's easy to get to. I mean, you know, that steer cylinder could be popped out of there and rebuilt pretty quickly, pretty easily. Probably $300, $400, something like that to repack it. So I'm gonna link some videos on the end of this where you can see where we've used it over the last couple of years. So here's what I was talking about with the forks being too short. You can see we got chains connected to it here. Lift up the front of it, drag it all the way to the edge where we can re-grip and get all the way, you know, under it good, and then get it off of there. You can see this is a big, bulky machine, weighs about 17,000 pounds. The brake handles it no problem. It's no issue with, you know, with finesse or anything like that. Just be able to back it right off of there, set it right down on the ground. This is the heaviest thing we've lifted on it or unloaded, basically. Again, here we're looking at another example of where the short forks really, you know, cost us extra. Just, it's not a problem. You can see it's lifting it just fine, but to get it to lift that, we have a crossbar that we got to go around to the other side and slide across the forks because the middle of this machine has some structure in there, but you know, the forks don't happen to hit it because the machine's 8 foot wide and it's 20 feet long. It weighs about 11,000 pounds. So you can email me, Gary@RamseyCustoms.com. If you're interested in this, I can, I'm located just about 1 hour south of Dallas, Texas, and 2 hours north of Houston. I can hot shot this thing to you. You know, if you're within, say, 1,000 miles from me, it's probably going to be about $2,000, $2,500. If you're, you know, if you're more than that, you know, it goes on up $4,000, $5,000. So if you're near me, you know, we could just drive it right up on a step deck Conestoga rig, or just a step deck, you know, type of rig with ramps. That's what it came here on. So 19,500 picked up, or I can arrange the shipping, get you a quote. But I've given you the estimate, so you don't need to email me just for a shipping quote. Only if you're gonna buy it. If you want to buy it, yeah, we'll get serious and I'll give you a bill of sale, you know, invoice, whatever you need for your accounting and taxes.